हेलो एवरीबॉडी एंड वेलकम बैक टू लिट अप विद एनी। आज हम लोग बात करने वाले हैं एक वर्क जो श्री औरोबिंदो का वर्क है विच इज द फाउंडेशंस ऑफ इंडियन कल्चर। ठीक है, श्री औरोबिंदो ने इसको लिखा था एंड इट वाज एक्चुअली पब्लिश्ड एज सीरीज ऑफ आर्टिकल्स। 1918 से 1921 के बीच में बहुत सारे आर्टिकल्स की एक सीरीज आई उसमें वैसे ये पब्लिश हुआ एंड इट वाज लेटर compiled into a book. So, if you see, it was written during the British colonial rule in India. At that point of time, जो Western intellectuals थे, like James Mill, Macaulay, and others, they were they were arguing and they were always questioning the value of Indian civilization. You all remember Macaulay, right? Insulting time and again, even Indian literature. So these intellectuals, the Western intellectuals, they were questioning the value of Indian civilization. Often they were labeling it as backward or irrational. And they were saying that it's always inferior to the European culture. तो जो इंडियन कल्चर है और जो रिलीजन है they were being labeled as decadent, superstitious, static by many of these colonial scholars. So Aurobindo wanted to respond to some of the critics. So Aurobindo wrote much of this work as a reply to this person called William Archer. William Archer. William Archer was a British critic who had attacked Indian art and culture as degenerate एंड स्पिरिचुअली एम्प्टी। उन्होंने कहा कि इंडियन का जो इंडियन आर्ट है, इंडियन कल्चर है, उसमें कुछ भी नहीं है, डिजेनरेट है वो, spiritually empty hai. How can somebody say that, I wonder? Also indirectly, Aurobindo wrote this to counter the thinkers like Max Muller, Macaulay, and some other orientalists who had a reductive view of Indian civilization. Aurobindo was deeply involved in the Indian nationalist movement, and he believed that political independence must be accompanied by a revival of India's spiritual and cultural heritage. So, spiritual heritage or cultural heritage की वो बात करते हैं. So, this text actually aligns with his broader vision of पूर्ण स्वराज, complete independence का जो इनका एक broader vision था. ये टेक्स्ट पूरा उसके साथ अलाइन भी करता है, नॉट जस्ट पॉलिटिकल but also spiritual and cultural. Now, it has philosophical roots. Deeply, it is influenced by Vedanta, the Upanishads, and Indian metaphysics. So, it advocates for the spiritual basis of Indian civilization, contrasting it with the materialistic basis of the West. He believed कि जो Indian culture है, it is rooted in the pursuit of the infinite, the eternal, and the divine. ये जो पूरा बुक है, it was published in Arya. Arya was a philosophical journal which was edited by Sri Aurobindo between 1914 and 1921. बहुत सारे मेजर वर्क्स जैसे कि द लाइफ डिवाइन, essays on the Gita, and then the synthesis of yoga, they were all serialized here only in Arya. Foundations of Indian Culture was first published as a series of essays in this journal under the title A Defense of Indian Culture. So under this title it was first published. It has a lot of significance. It serves as a cultural manifesto defending the integrity, depth, and this dynamic nature of Indian civilization. Right now, let me take you to what is there in this book. The book is actually divided into three parts, or you can say three chapters. The first one is the issue. Is India civilized? This is the name of the first part. The second part is a rationalistic critique on Indian culture. The third part is a defense of Indian culture, which is further divided into three parts. First is religion and spirituality. Second is Indian art. Third is Indian literature. And fourth is Indian polity. It's divided like that. Okay. So, Each part, as the name suggests, सबसे पहले the issue, is India civilized? It's a question. तो क्या है India civilized? And he explores that. After that, a rationalistic critic on India culture. एक rationalistic critic India के culture पे क्या कहता है? Third is a defense of Indian culture. Now he goes on to defend the Indian culture in different parts: religion and spirituality, Indian art, Indian literature, and Indian polity. Okay, let's further dive into these chapters. फर्स्ट पार्ट में एक पहले तो ब्रीफ में बताती हूँ कि औरबिंदो चैलेंज करते हैं वेस्ट के क्रिटिक को, दैट क्वेश्चंस द सोफिस्टिकेशन ऑफ इंडियन सिविलाइजेशन. All those people who are asking this question, is India civilized? So he's actually challenging their critique. He argues that true civilization is not solely measured by material progress, but it is measured by spiritual and cultural depth. So Aurobindo emphasizes India's profound philosophical traditions and spiritual achievements as evidence of its advanced civilization. Second part में a rationalistic critic on Indian culture. Here Aurobindo actually responds to Western rationalistic critique, जैसे कि William Archer, who actually viewed Indian culture as irrational, stagnant है, बिल्कुल irrational है. तो औरोबिंदो इनको काउंटर करते हैं by highlighting कि यार देखो आके कितना rich है हमारा culture. Spiritual thought देखो, उसकी capacity देखो for intellectual and cultural synthesis. So he underscores the importance of understanding Indian culture on its own terms, rather कि मतलब हम आपके laid down जो parameters हैं उनसे क्यों चलें? We are going to look it at our own terms, not through your lens, not through Western lens. Part 3 में a defense of Indian culture. तो सबसे पहले 4 sections है. पहला है religion and spirituality. So Aurobindo here discusses the centrality of spirituality in Indian culture, emphasizing that जो Indian religion है, it's not merely ritualistic, but deeply philosophical and experimental. So he defends the diversity of spiritual paths in India. जैसे कि आप देखो भक्ति है, karma yoga hai, all of these things as avenues for personal and collective growth. Then talking about Indian art, इसमें वो explore करते हैं symbolic और spiritual dimensions हमारे art की. So he says कि जो Indian art है ना, वो represent करता है India inner realities को, spiritual truths को, not merely imitating the external world. So he highlights the integral role of art in expressing and nurturing the spiritual life of the community. Third part में Indian literature में Aurobindo examines the vast corpus of Indian literature, Vedas से लेके Upanishads, classical poetry, epics like Mahabharata and Ramayana. He emphasizes the didactic and spiritual purposes of Indian literature, which aims to elevate the reader's consciousness and moral understanding. And fourth, Indian polity. So in this final subsection, Aurobindo जो है वो political structures पे को analyze कर रहे हैं और कुछ ancient India की जो philosophies हैं उनको analyze करते हैं. He discusses the concept of dharma as a guiding principle for governance and the balance between individual freedom and social order. So he highlights the adaptability and the resilience of Indian political thought throughout history. बहुत सारे मेंशन किए हैं इन्होंने फिगर्स को, जैसे कि सर जॉन वुडरॉफ, वो एक ब्रिटिश ओरिएंटलिस्ट थे who defended Indian spiritual traditions and he challenged Western misconceptions. So right in the first chapter, I think अगर आप बुक खोलोगे ना, पहला दूसरा लाइन में ही उन्होंने कहा कि ये एक ब्रिटिश ओरिएंटलिस्ट थे सर जॉन वुडरॉफ, जिन्होंने भी एक बुक लिखी थी इस नाम से. Then he talks about William Archer, he's a critic of Indian culture, जिसके व्यूज को औरोबिंदो ने रेफ्यूट किया है पार्ट 2 में. फिर कालिदास का नाम लिया है, सेलिब्रेटेड क्लासिकल संस्कृत पोएट एंड ड्रामेटिस्ट. वाल्मीकि और व्यासा का भी नाम लिया है, ऑथर्स ऑफ द रामायण एंड महाभारत रिस्पेक्टिवली, whose epics embody the spiritual and ethical values of Indian culture. राजा राम मोहन रॉय और स्वामी विवेकानंद को भी मेंशन किया है, the reformers who sought to rejuvenate Indian spirituality and the social practices in the face of colonial challenges. ठीक है, so let's dive a bit more deeper and again come back to the first part. The issue is India civilized. तो एज आई टोल्ड यू, औरबिंदो यहाँ पे रिस्पॉन्ड कर रहे हैं ब्रिटिश इंपीरियलिस्ट थिंकर्स को, जेम्स मिल, विंसेंट स्मिथ, मकॉले, जिन्होंने कहा इंडिया हैज नो ट्रू सिविलाइजेशन. सो ही रिजेक्ट्स द वेस्टर्न मेट्रिक ऑफ सिविलाइजेशन बीइंग मटीरियल और टेक्निकल प्रोग्रेस. कोर आर्ग्यूमेंट्स दो जो फर्स्ट चैप्टर या फर्स्ट पार्ट में है वो है स्पिरिचुअल सिविलाइजेशन, कि इंडिया जो है वो स्पिरिचुअल विजन को परस्यू करता है, द सर्च फॉर द इटर्नल, द डिवाइन, अनलाइक द वेस्ट हु आर always on the material path. So civilization must be judged by inner developments, not outer gadgets. Number two, critique of cultural imperialism. So British colonizers wrongly judged India through a rationalistic and utilitarian framework. So he names Sir John Woodroffe, a rare Westerner, जिन्होंने actually respect किया India के esoteric philosophy को as a contrast to these critics. Number three, university in diversity. He says India developed a pluralistic, tolerant, and organic culture which is capable of uniting various races, languages, and faiths. And number four, rejection of the static India myth, कि इंडिया तो बिल्कुल static है, कुछ नहीं है, एक ही चीज है. India was dynamic in inner development, experimenting in yoga, metaphysics, spiritual systems. So it was not static at all. Part two, again the focus, which is a rationalistic critic on Indian culture. It's a rebuttal to William Archer, जिन्होंने डिसमिस किया था इंडियन कल्चर को एज इंफीरियर, सेंटिमेंटल एंड इरेशनल. सो औरबिंदो का काउंटर आर्ग्यूमेंट्स क्या क्या है? नंबर वन, कल्चरल शॉविनिज्म. आर्चर judges India with these Western biases, confusing difference with deficiency. Number two, spiritual rationality versus dry rationalism. तो औरबिंदो डिफेंड कर रहे हैं ये अपने इंटेग्रल लॉजिक को जो इंडियन सिस्टम ऑफ थॉट में है, जैसे कि वेदांता, सांख्या, which combine reason and intuition. And he critiques Western logic as incomplete, often devoid of spiritual dimension. कि आप बात ही नहीं करते हो कि आप इनर आपका डेवलपमेंट क्या हो रहा है, आप सिर्फ मटीरियल इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर की बात करोगे कि यहाँ पे ये है, वहां पे वो है, इंडिया में कुछ नहीं है. स्पिरिचुअल डेवलपमेंट की आप कभी बात नहीं करते कि इंसान एज अ पर्सन इंटरनली हाउ आर यू ग्रोइंग. Number three, misunderstanding of Indian art and literature. So Archer had also dismissed Indian drama and poetry as excessive. Aurobindo explains the concept of rasa, aesthetic emotion, and also symbolism, showing Indian art how it aims at elevating consciousness. Then number four is defense of the Indian psyche. आर्चर ने क्रिटिक किया था इंडियन फेटलिज्म को और पैसिविटी को, और उसको काउंटर किया है औरबिंदो ने विद एग्जांपल्स ऑफ रेजिलियंस, क्रिएटिविटी एंड इनर स्ट्रेंथ. मूविंग ऑन टू पार्ट थ्री, अ डिफेंस ऑफ इंडियन कल्चर. उसमें पार्ट वन जो है रिलीजन एंड स्पिरिचुअलिटी. द की पॉइंट्स हियर आर, स्पिरिचुअलिटी जो है इट इज लाइफ ब्लड ऑफ इंडियन कल्चर. Religion in India is not doctrinal but experimental, or you can say liberating actually. ठीक है, experimental would not be a right term. I'm looking for the term right, but liberating is a better term. He emphasized on Vedanta, he emphasized on these movements, bhakti movement, yoga, um, tantras as modes of spiritual self realization. And he cites Indian thinkers and saints who embodied this, जैसे Shankara, Ramanuja, Kabir, Ramakrishna, all of these. So refutations है यहाँ पे. He refutes accusations of escapism कि Indian spirituality is deeply life affirming, aiming to transform the world through inner realization. फिर इंडियन आर्ट पे बात करते हैं कि इंडियन आर्ट माइमेटिक नहीं है, ठीक है, इट्स सिंबॉलिक, इट्स स्पिरिचुअल. आर्किटेक्चर, टेम्पल्स को देखो, स्कल्पचर्स को देखो, जैसे खाजुरा, ये क्या है वो खाजुराहो, एलोरा टेम्प, ये केव्स हैं। उसके बाद डांस की बात करते हैं, भरतनाट्यम, म्यूजिक की बात करते हैं, एज एक्सप्रेशंस ऑफ द डिवाइन, इट्स ऑल ओरिजिनल. So the purpose of it is it evokes rasa, not mere entertainment, but realistic depiction. ठीक है. एंड देन इंडियन लिटरेचर की वो बात करते हैं, ग्रेट वर्क्स लाइक महाभारत, रामायण आर नॉट जस्ट एपिक्स बट सिविलाइजेशनल ब्लूप्रिंट्स. Classic Sanskrit poets like Kalidas, Bhavabhuti, they exemplify fusion of aesthetics and dharma. तो अनलाइक वेस्टर्न लिटरेचर जिसमें वही कॉन्फ्लिक्ट, वही रियलिज्म है, इंडियन लिटरेचर सीक्स कॉस्मिक हार्मनी, एथिकल डिलेमास एंड सोल ग्रोथ. उसके बाद इंडियन पॉलिटी की बात आती है, तो इंडियन पॉलिटिकल लाइफ वाज गाइडेड बाय धर्मा, नॉट power politics, he says. The king was seen as dharma rakshak, protector of the dharma, not an autocrat. Political institutions like sabha, samiti, village panchayat, they reflect grassroots democracy. Well, misinterpretations भी हैं, जैसे Aurobindo critiques colonial historians for overlooking the ethical political synthesis of Indian polity. He insists that India's political heritage must be revitalized with spiritual foundations, not replaced by Western systems of, systems wholesale. तो फाइनल विजन यही है कि औरबिंदो एनविजन करते हैं एक न्यू इंडिया को दैट इज रूटेड इन इट्स स्पिरिचुअल ट्रेडिशन, which engages with modernity, creativity, and not imitatively. And New India that becomes a leader of global spiritual evolution. And I quote, um, a reawakened India must resume her spiritual mission and offer her contribution to the future civilization of the world. So that is about the work. It's actually a long work if you go through it, जो पूरी book है, but these are the major arguments of the work, okay? And as I told you, 3 chapters, ये आपने याद रखने हैं. I'll tell you how many pages the book is. It's almost 364 pages. So, ठीक है? And then we have appendix wherein he talks about Indian culture and external influence. That is it. I hope you've understood the crux of it. If you wish to join the full course, if you're preparing for NET, HPSC, up to exam aa gaya, but definitely for the next time, especially HPSC, if you're preparing for descriptive type also after the screening, you can join the full course. You can talk to me. The details are in the description box. You can also join my group on Telegram. Do that. It's again in the description box. You will find the link. And do like, share, and subscribe if you haven't done it yet. Thank you for watching. Bye bye.